Recent occurrences of highly devastating natural hazards have captured the world's attention. These phenomena resulted in loss of life, injuries, and considerable damage to buildings, properties, infrastructure, and economy. Among these catastrophes, tsunami is the ocean's most powerful and destructive force. It rarely happens, but the threat is ever present, particularly in coastal areas. And when it strikes, its impact is enough to damage communities and shatter the lives of many.
Will this type of destructive tsunamis occur in our country?
Are we safe from the threat of tsunami?
The Philippines is part of the tectonically active Pacific Ring of Fire. In this zone, many large earthquakes and volcanic eruptions occur. This makes the country no stranger to tsunamis. As an archipelago, the Philippines is surrounded by large bodies of water. It lies between subducting tectonic plates, the Philippine Sea Plate in the east and the Eurasian Plate in the west. These subducting plates manifest themselves through offshore earthquakes along trenches, including the Philippine Trench, East Luzon Trough, Manila Trench, Negros Trench, Sulu Trench, and Cotabato Trench. Tsunami is a Japanese word meaning harbor wave. While most people associate tsunamis with tidal waves and storm surges, it has nothing to do with them.
Tsunami is a series of sea waves, commonly generated by under-the-sea earthquakes. Tsunami has nothing to do with tidal wave and storm surges. Tidal waves are related to the rise and fall of seawater level due to the gravitational attraction of astronomical bodies, primarily the moon and sun. Storm surges, on the other hand, are generated by strong wind associated with tropical cyclones.
Tsunami is a unique force of nature. Its destructive power is generated when the earthquake is shallow and strong enough to displace parts of the seabed and disturb the mass of water over it. The underwater earthquake can produce tsunami waves that can travel at great distance with immense strength. Tsunamis can also be produced by other phenomena. Less commonly, tsunamis can be created by underwater landslides, infrequently by underwater volcanic eruptions, and very rarely by large meteorite impacts in the ocean. In deep waters, tsunami waves can travel at speeds of over 800 kilometers an hour, almost as fast as a jet plane. The waves can also cross the entire stretch of the Pacific Ocean in less than a day. Tsunamis can be created from distant locations, such as those coming from the other countries bordering the Pacific Ocean, like Japan, Alaska in the United States, and Chile. On the 22nd of May 1960, the magnitude 9.5 Great Chilean earthquake generated a tsunami that crossed the Pacific Ocean. It reached the eastern shore of the Philippines after 24 to 26 hours, with up to 1 to 3 meters recorded wave height. Distant tsunamis can travel about 1 to 26 hours. In such cases, Pacific Region Warning Centers, such as the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center and Northwest Pacific Tsunami Advisory Center, have enough time to provide early warning to people that may be affected. In the Philippines, almost all coastal areas are exposed to the dangers of both distant and local tsunamis. As tsunami approaches shoreline and enters shallower water, they slow down and begin to increase in height and form a massive wall of water. Once it hits the bay or harbors, rivers or delta, large tsunami waves can effortlessly uproot trees and posts. Its massive force can savagely sweep away cars, trucks, buses, and boats. And the sheer weight of the water can wipe out houses, smash buildings, and other properties. But one of its worst effects is the cost to human lives. The powerful force of the tsunami can instantly result in death due to drowning, while the debris during inland and backflows can inflict injuries and loss of life. In the end, the phenomenon usually leaves people helpless and the place unrecognizable.
Tsunamis have enormous impact to our environment after it flooded the area. Agricultural lands may be rendered useless for 2 years or more, since soil salinity becomes high. Groundwater in areas flooded by tsunami may become contaminated and therefore pose threat to public health when ingested by people, as this can cause health complications.
In the Philippines, there are approximately 40 accounts of tsunami events. Areas such as those facing the Pacific Ocean, West Philippine Sea, Sulu Sea, and Celebes Sea have been affected by tsunamis caused by local earthquakes. Locally generated tsunamis may occur within a very short time. The first wave may reach the shoreline in 2 to 5 minutes after the main earthquake. One of the most devastating tsunamis in the history of the Philippines occurred on August 17, 1976. A magnitude 8.1 earthquake in Moro Gulf produced violent tsunami waves which devastated the southwest coast of Mindanao. This single event claimed the lives of almost 8,000 individuals and injured more than 9,000 people. The wave, which reached a height of up to 9 meters, also destroyed properties and left 90,000 homeless. Less than 2 decades after the 1976 tsunami, a 7.1 earthquake struck Mindoro Island on the 15th of November 1994. Up to 6-meter-high tsunami waves were produced and affected the shorelines from Puerto Galera to Pinamalayan.
Basta nung nalindo lang po, edi kami may nagkakap-akap na, hindi kami bumangon sa sobrang lakas ng bundok.
Para kami ikinahit sa bilao. Patas na mabilis yung taas at tubig.
Nagising. Dalay ko naglalaglagan yung mga buti doon sa tabi ng ay gapang dahil hindi ka makakatayo eh.
Matapos ang lindol, biglang sinabayan sumunod ng malakas na ugo.
Eh wala pa kaming karasang pero sa palagay namin ay tubig yung maaring alon o yung talagang baha.
Ito yung dus malaot, itim na itim yung dagat. Yung pala yung along
May bulto siya na maitim, malapit lang sa dagat. Kala ko bulto.
Sabi ko doon sa mga batay, tindig kayo, baba, baba. Sunod-sunod kami, pababa.
Dahil katatapos lang ng lindol, sabi tayo bumabat. Nakakako lindol pa, mag-iba na ang bahay natin.
Yung pagbaba namin, gusto kami mag-iinin nakakarating sa baba ng bahay. Ay sinalpok na kami ng malaking alon.
Bumaba kami, kaya kami siguro kung kami na sa loob ng bahay, patay kami lahat.
Mataas, tapos bahay talaga. Bahay namin talaga wala, was out na was out.
The Mindoro earthquake and tsunami killed 78 people, while many were left injured and others missing. Properties and livelihood were also devastated, and countless people were rendered homeless. Knowing when and where the next tsunami will strike is challenging. However, the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, or DOST PHIVOLCS, as the tsunami warning focal organization in the country, continues to conduct research and monitor activities that may pose risk to public safety and provide tsunami warning or advisory to the public. The public, however, should know that local tsunami could reach the shoreline even before a tsunami warning or advisory can be issued. It is therefore important that people should be familiar with natural signs before a tsunami hits an area. First, an earthquake is felt, especially along the coastal areas. The ground shaking is usually strong enough that a person can hardly stand. Second, is an unusual sea level change. This includes either a sudden drop or rise of seawater. The receding seawater can usually cause the exposure of corals, underwater rocks, and marine life. Third is an unusual sound produced by the approaching of waves. Most survivors of tsunami describe the noise as rumbling, jet-like, or gush of strong rain sound. Tsunami may hit coastal communities at any given time.
Let us develop a tsunami-prepared community by 1. Assessing the tsunami hazards in the community. Number 2. Establishing a community-based tsunami early warning system. Have predetermined routes to the evacuation areas and identify routes going to these evacuation areas. Number 4. Putting up signage and information on the evacuation area and the evacuation routes, both in public areas. 5. Plant trees in the coast like mangroves and preserve the coral reefs around your coastal communities. Lastly, conduct regular community-based awareness and drills about earthquakes and tsunamis.
Most importantly, remember the natural signs of an approaching local tsunami. Shake, an earthquake. Drop or rise, unusual change in sea level. Roar, unusual sound of incoming tsunami.